Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha Yata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha Yata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha. Anyone missing? Okay, before we go any further, any questions? Any questions? Yes.
Somebody asked me, and I just want to make sure that I understood correctly. When you talk about afflictive emotions, you talk about general, all the anger, hatred, ignorance, all of those? Yeah?
Okay, so so we speak about the miseries, contaminant karmas, afflictions. In this affliction, does it incorporate everything of the afflictions? This question. Afflictions, then the inappropriate attention, then the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. So, okay, if you remember what I said this morning, that the first three meaning from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance, inappropriate attention, and afflictions, all these three fall under the category of the afflictions. So why we enumerate the inappropriate attention and the self-grasping ignorance? Generally speaking, inappropriate attention is not really explained separately, but this is something so unique about Nagarjuna. Nagarjuna, further commented upon by his disciple Arya Dev. Otherwise, in most of the cases, this is not found. This is something very unique and a very beautiful presentation which links between the self-grasping ignorance and the affliction, the other afflictions, the gross afflictions. So what you can speak of is the afflictions to be divided into two, gross and the subtle. The gross and the subtle. This is self-grasping ignorance. Self-grasping ignorance, we classify this as a very subtle ignorance, and all the other which are the offshoots of the self-grasping ignorance, we count them or we include them in under the category of the affliction. Otherwise, self-grasping ignorance is also affliction. Don't think that self-grasping ignorance is not affliction. It is affliction. For example, say in Israel, they are ministers.
Yes.
They are prime minister also. Huh? Prime minister, is he minister or not? Huh? Prime minister also minister, right? He's the prime of the minister, right? So we speak about the prime minister and the ministers as though like prime minister is not a minister, but he's a minister. He's a minister, he's the main minister, right? Because he's the main, he's counted as separate minister, prime minister and the ministers. He's actually a minister. Likewise, self-grasping ignorance is affliction. Because it's the prime, it is counted as separately. Affliction, the self-grasping ignorance, then the afflictions, then the contaminant karmas. This is how we count. Otherwise, self-grasping ignorance is also affliction. Don't forget it. Okay, good. Now, we have to go a little further. Okay, one thing that I'd like to share with you is that about reading the books. What books to read? Okay, so whatever book that you read finally is up to the individual, right? So some people, they ask me, they request me to announce it in public. Announce public, unless the book is really very authoritative, I don't do it. Unless, for example, the book which we did yesterday. by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. These are exceptions. Otherwise, usually the book by any author, I don't usually publicly announce them. This is usually my thinking. Only if I feel very confident, then I announce it. Otherwise, I don't do it. So therefore, it doesn't mean that those books which I don't announce, they are not worthy to be reading. This is not a connotation. So finally, what books to read, what not about, is entirely up to the individual, right? So I'm not the person, because I'm not really the person to say that you have to read this, you don't read this. No, this is not my job. My job is just to do whether this book is something that I can announce or not. That is in my hand. What you read, that's up to the individual, right? Not my job. Okay, so what I'm saying is that even though I may not pick up the book, it doesn't mean that the book must be very, very, very good ones. We never know. I don't know. Okay, so therefore, what I'm saying is that what is impermanence?
This is gross impermanence.
Gross impermanence, yes. Okay. So with the books, there are some very good ones. For example, looking there in this shelf, the books, for example, like the Jeffrey's books. Jeffrey's books, they are very standard. If you want to know the concepts, particularly very precisely with the standard books, Jeffrey's books are very good. Very good. But if somebody tells me, please pick this up and advertise, I may not do it. Right? So what I'm saying is, whereas if somebody asks me pick up the Buddha's book, right, the sutras, and for example, the Zapaturu Rinpoche's book, or say the Thabolaji's book. Thabolaji's book was the book, The Ornament of Liberation, and Lamrim. These books I'll be happy to announce or the advertise. Otherwise, generally speaking, this is what I don't do. Whereas what you read, this is up to the individual. I'm not a person to say this is a good book, that is a bad book, and so forth. I cannot really say anything of this kind. Okay, so this is one thing that I need to really make sure. Otherwise, it can create problems. Right? He said it. Right? Why not both? Okay, because he said it. This is a big problem. So therefore, I'm neutral. Even the Buddha remains silent to many of the questions. There are 14 questions, which the Buddha remains silent, right? So the Bible remains silent. There are many occasions. Right? Okay, so the point is that from my side, I'm very honest. Only if the book is very standard, then if somebody asks me to pick this up and advertise, I can advertise. Otherwise, generally, if I'm not aware of, it doesn't mean that I read all the books, right? There must be a very good book, but I have not read it. So how can I advertise it, right, without knowing the book? So this is the point. So don't misunderstand what I'm doing. Okay, with this in mind, now the one thing which is very important. This is about emptiness. Okay. Okay, in Tibetan, not so you government or Hajishin Sebe Kanjubaro, Tenandel Chebu government, Tela Tobe Shabayans. Which means that, which the Buddha said, this is a sutra from the Buddha. The Buddha said that all these beautiful flowers and the beautiful mentions many houses, they are all created by own mind. There is no separate created outside. It's all coming from your mind. Through conceptualization, through our own thought processes, that everything comes into being. This is what the Buddha said. Okay, from this what I'm saying is that what the Buddha said, simply because the Buddha said we have to believe in it, this is not the point. And what the Buddha said, take it very seriously, don't deny it very easily. Take it very seriously. Doesn't mean that you have to believe in it. You have to have a blind faith in this. There's not a connotation. You have to subject this to analysis. Okay, first what did it say? Then how to analyze. What did it say? Is that, okay, if you look at this flower, If you look at this flower, you say, oh, there's some people, you may, how many, by the way, raise your hands, those who like flowers, who like the flowers so much, who likes the flower so much, not just like the flower, likes the flower so much. One, of course, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, those who are so with flower. Source of meaning, then I like the flower. I like the flower. It's not that I'm crazy about it, but I like it. Reasons? Okay, those who not really saying what a flower and the green plant, there's no difference. Reasons? I don't know. Shahab, they picked up your reason in both case.
I love everybody. I go with all the definitions. He likes all the differentiations.
So therefore, he doesn't remove the garbage. Even if he sees garbage very beautiful.
This is why I have 10.
No, every morning I saw you picking up the garbage. Okay. So the point is, okay, let's say group A and group A. Which is group A, I don't know. Okay, let's say the Nissimist, let's say this is group A, because he loves the flower, I know. So group B, unfortunately, including me. This is group B. Say that group A, group B. Group A loves flower crazily. Group B does not like the flower at all. Any flower, get it off. Let's say group B. Okay, you may disagree with me, but let's say for the purpose of this discussion. Okay, now tell me. I pick up this flower. Okay, what are you seeing? Group A? Flower. Flower. Group B? Flower. So there's no difference. Look, there's no difference in seeing this object as a flower. You agree with me? But your reaction is different. How do you like it? Amazing. How do you like it? Nothing. Nothing. Good. Your reaction is very different. So cognitively it's the same. Cognitively, what you saw is just the same. What do you see? Group A, flower. Group B, what do you see? Flower. It's the same. Cognitively the same. Your reaction is different. One, affective side is different. Affective thought process is different. One, it just chases after the object. One, runs away from the object. Reaction is different. You getting it? Okay. Now, with this, what is that object where somebody is attracted and somebody is pushed? What is that object? Here, what is the object? The flower. You getting it? Flower is the object or the subject? Object. So flower is the object, and your mind is the one which moves closer to the object and which is pushed by the object. You getting it? Your mind is the subject. Subject and pull and push by the object. You getting it? So there's the interplay between the object and the subject. Interplay between the object and the subject. Okay. Now, tell me. Say, in the dream. Say. Okay. Say. Okay. Let's do like this. Instead of in the dream, let's say, look at the other person sitting next to you. Look at the other person sitting next to you. Well, Israelis are more decent. You don't smile loudly. Although you just smile, some of you are pushing each other. But you do not smile loudly, right? You start laughing. Okay. Once more, look at the other person. Okay, smiling also. I did not ask you to smile, but you smile. Okay, now, don't forget that figure which made you to smile. Don't forget it. Don't forget that figure which made you to smile. Now, think of the same figure in your mind. Think of the same figure in your mind. Okay, now nobody is smiling. You open your eyes, now tell me. Right? Okay. Why you are not smiling when you are thinking of the same person in your mind? Why you are smiling when you look at the person directly? Why? Huh? Anyone?
No interaction.
But it's not there. It's not really there.
Okay, because with the second you can interact. It's fine, you can interact. With the dream you interact, right? Right? With the dream you can interact. You can interact, you fight, right? Okay. So You can interact, but in the second case, okay, your name? N.I. Say, Anna, why did you say that you don't interact with what you just imagined?
Just thinking, if I see a person and there's a reaction from the other side,
Oh, okay.
then that causes the reaction, while if it's just an object I'm thinking of, it could be inanimate.
But in the dream also, the other person doesn't react, right? But you react, huh?
In the dream, yeah, it can react.
No, the other person doesn't react because there's no person there,
But it's vivid.
huh?
It's vivid. In the dream, it's vivid. It's vivid. And if I see Kirill now, it's very vivid. And in the dream, it's the same vividness.
No, the point is that the other person in the dream does not react because there's no person there in the dream, right?
There is no dream person, but in the dream, there is a person.
No, in the dream there's no person. It's a dream person, right?
Yeah.
Dream person, not a person.
Yes. But the interaction is there.
So because there's no person, what the NI is saying is that there's no person there. There's no person to react.
As long as you don't know that this is a dream, you think that he is real.
Good. Although there's no interaction happening from the person there, there's no person there, you thought it's a real person. And how your mind is creating, you create it in such a way that this real person really interacting with me. So you thought that there's real interaction happening. So you decided, you react on the basis of what you think. You think that this real person really interacting with me, and then you reacted. Whereas here, you think about it, you know that this is simply my makeup, right? This is what my mind makes up. It's not really there. You know this. In the dream, you don't know this. When you know this, then you will stop smiling. When you don't know this, you say it's real, you start smiling. You're getting it? In other words, do you agree with me that when you think of this person, you know that this is what you have created, what you've created in your mind. This is simply coming from your mind, which is the subject, coming from the subject, not from the object. You agree with me? When you know it's coming from just my mental creation, it's not really there, right? You may even feel bored. Why he's wasting so much of time? We have only a few hours, right? And he's just making us imagine like this. We know it's not real. Okay, so when you know that it's not real, then they say that you will not interact with this. Whereas when you think that it's real, then you will start smiling. When you see the other person next to you, you see it's so real, then you cannot stop smiling, right? You agree with me? Okay, in other words, I can summarize by saying that when you see the object as coming from the object, you will see it as real. And that makes you to react. When you see the object as coming from your mind, you don't react, knowing that it's subjectively real. Okay, tell me. Now from this, what you've learned, subjectively real, what your mind has created is known as subjectively real. What is from the object is known as objectively real. Of this, don't think that you're philosophers for the time being. You're introduced to a very basic concept, subjectively real, objectively real. From this point of view, just tell me, the dream ghost is subjectively real or objectively real? Hey, you're not dreaming. Tell me, dream ghost, is it subjectively real or objectively real? Subjectively real, very good. Okay, now this flower, subjectively real, objectively real. Don't think that you're philosophers. Don't think that you're philosophers. You're just an ordinary person with no exposure to philosophy at all. Tell me this flower, objectively real, subjectively real? Objectively real, very good. Okay, say the rainbow. Rainbow, objectively real, subjectively real? Huh? Subjectively real, objectively real? Huh? Subjective, some say half-half. Right? So nothing is left now. Only these are two options. Either subject, object, or half-half. Okay, you all give the answer. So let's say the dream, because the rainbow is quite complicated. Quite complicated. If you say it is subjective, there's a problem. If you say it's objective, there's a problem. If you say subjective, then how can you catch the rainbow in the camera? Right? If it is from the object, why don't you find it as you go closer to the object? It disappears. You getting it? Okay. So the dream, the rainbow is a little complicated. Dream is easy. Dream is subjective or objective? Subjective. Now with this, the point is that we have to keep in mind that everything that exists in this universe now try to come to us becoming a philosopher. The Buddha said everything is like a dream. Everything is subject to real. Not only the dream. Dream is a beautiful example of that how things are subject to real. Everything is subject to real, right? Including this flower. Including the flower which you saw as object to real. Even this is subject to real. Including yourself is also subject to real. Including the feelings that arise within you is also subject to real. Even the pain that we go through is also subject to real. Even the anxiety, stress, depression. When you really go through a little bit of depression, we see it as so real. We just think, well, how to get out of this, right? It's so real. Yet, if you see the subject to real, instantly you'll be elevated. You'll be just lifted from this experience of the depression. You getting it? Okay. So the point is that everything is subject to real. The next question. How can we know this? How can we know that everything is subject to real? Nothing is object to real. This is the question. You getting it? Okay. So for this, you have to see the benefit of the seeing things like a dream, seeing things as subject to real. Okay. Say that in the dream, when you are chased by a ghost, what's your experience? Fear. By the way, how many of you really had a dream of being chased by ghosts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, not this side. 7, 8. Okay. Say chased by a ghost, or chased by a robber, or chased by whatever, right? Somebody chasing you, and so much of fear arises. And oftentimes when somebody's chasing you, the tendency for us is to fall. And when you fall, it's so difficult to get up, yes? It's so difficult to get up. Okay, and then the ghost is even closer. Ghost will not spare you. And the ghost is about to grab at you. What's your feeling? Huh? Don't just say fear. No, I'm gone. Terrifying. No, I'm gone. Right? The moment you say, I'm gone, your mother wakes you up. What's the experience?
Relief.
What a relief. Okay. Why did you get this relief?
No, it's
Huh?
not.
Because you know that it's not real. Okay, now tell me, this is so important, right? In the dream, the contents of the dream affected you when you were in dream. You agree with me or not?
Yes.
Contents of the dream affected you when you were in the dream. You getting it? And how many varieties, how many contents of the dream were there? 1, 2, 3, innumerable. Huh? Innumerable things are there in the dream. For example, a ghost chasing you, right? There must be a place, and a place must have trees or no trees, whatever, right? There's a land there, and then you're going there, then you trip, you fall, right? And even the ghost must have, various aspects. Innumerable details are there. If you see a tree with millions of leaves growing there, and the weather. Tell me, all these came from where? From your own mind, nothing from the. But when you are in the dream, you are affected by all these things. You're affected. When you're in the dream, you're affected. Affected means you have no choice. You have no choice to choose. The dream dictates whether you're happy, unhappy. You're getting it? Even if you're happy, it's also because of the dream. Dream dictated. You have not the freedom to choose whether you're happy or not. You're getting it? In the dream. So you have, if you don't have the freedom to choose, freedom to be happy or unhappy, even if you're happy, it's not because of you, because of the dream. So dream dictates. If the dream dictates, you don't have the freedom. If you don't have the freedom, it's a loss of freedom. Loss of freedom is the greatest of the misery. Don't forget it. Loss of freedom is the greatest of the misery. And what made you to have the loss of freedom? Because you are dictated by the dream. Because you are in the dream. Right? And who made the dream? Because of the ignorance, imprints. impressed left by the ignorance. So the ignorance creates the dream. Okay. As long as you're in the dream, you're not free from the dream. You're affected by the dream. As long as you're affected by the dream, you don't have freedom to choose the dream. You're affected by the dream. As you're affected by the dream, you have lost of freedom. Loss of freedom is misery. Misery is samsara. Right? Now, if you want to get rid of this fear from the ghost, what should you do? In the dream, when you're dreaming, if you want to get rid of the fear of the ghost, what should you do? Huh? You want to wake up, or you want to call, some lamas who can say Om Mani Padme Hum. Right? You call somebody, oh please, there's a ghost chasing me, please, they do some puja, and the person says Om Mani Padme Hum, and the ghost runs away. Right? Okay. Is this a good solution? Is this a good thing or not good thing? Huh? This is good thing. Right? Good thing. So therefore, in the dream, you're going to relief or not? When the ghost runs away, you're relief or not?
Yes.
This is relief also because of the dream. Yes, no?
Yes.
Because you saw the ghost is running. There's no ghost running actually. Right? And you saw the ghost running, you are happy. So this happens also not because of your choice. It's because of the dream has created a ghost running away from you and you are happy. This is also because of the dream. Dream dictates you. You don't have freedom to be happy. Even this is because of you don't have the indication of the lack of freedom. Lack of freedom is, in other words, as long as you are in the dream, whether you're happy, whether you're unhappy, both cases, we are under the dictate of the dream. Which means in both cases we don't have the freedom. In both cases we have the loss of freedom. In both cases, loss of freedom is misery. So that is the greatest of the suffering, loss of freedom. So how to get the permanent solution? Wake up. Right? Wake up. How you relieve? Dream cannot affect you in any ways. The dream contents cannot affect you in any ways. You're getting it? This is so important understanding. This is so important understanding. So with this, we have to say, okay, with this, what have we learned up to this point? What have we learned which is important, which we have to keep in mind? Tell me, anyone? There may not be only one answer, there can be multiple answers. Anyone?
That we are dreaming.
We have to know that we are dreaming. One. Anyone else? Yes?
There is a solution for our suffering.
That our suffering, there's a solution to get out of this suffering. Very good. Anyone else?
The dream is created by our own mind.
Yes, the dream is created by our own mind. Yes, very good.
Loss of freedom is.
Loss of freedom is actually suffering. This is the real suffering. Anyone else?
There isn't any objectively real thing.
Say in the dream, pertaining to the dream, there's nothing really objectively there from the dream. Very good.
The ultimate solution would be to wake up.
Ultimate solution for pertaining to the dream, all the fear, nightmare that you go into the dream, ultimate solution is to wake up. Very good. Okay, so all these answers, they are very good. With this, what we're going to learn is that there are two ways of perception. In the dream, you suffer because you see the dream goes as real, objectively real. When you wake up, your fear dissolves because you see the dream contents as empty of being real. You getting it? This is one thing that we have to know. Why we have so much fear in the dream is because we see the dream goes as objectively real. Do you agree with me or not? Dream goes as objectively real. One. Why when we wake up, our suffering dissolves, fear dissolves? It's because we realize that the dream goes is empty of being objectively real. Do you agree with me? Okay. So in other words, when you wake up, you realize the dream goes as subjectively real. In the dream, you see that as objectively real. When you see that as objectively real, fear arises. When you see this empty objective reality, fear dissolves. You're getting it? If this you can understand, if this much you've understood, and if you apply this to all other phenomena, even to the waking state, if you know how to apply this, then you see that this is the ultimate solution to all the miseries. It is for this reason that the Buddha said that the wisdom of emptiness alone is the path to liberation. All other paths are to enrich